The fourth one was near-death experience. I posted that one in the internet in my video, and that's like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Someone said maybe that's not called the near-death experience, but I thought that was near-death experience. But maybe characterization of what I said may not fit to the typical notion of near-death experience. But anyway, I had this something I ate didn't quite do any good. And then I thought, I may die. And I couldn't move. Later I found something I ate, that's the reason. But at the time I didn't know. So I lost the energy and then, okay, maybe I'm dying. So that's what I thought. And then I remember taking off my glasses and put it in certain area and then lay down to accept death to come or some state like that because I couldn't move. But I thought that was peaceful. And later, some time passed and I don't remember the whole detail of it and how I described in the video, but it's in the same, my channel, NDE. You can take a look at it. And I woke up and then, I'm still awake. That's the feeling. And then, well, what happened to my glasses? I went there and, it's still there. And then I came back and went back to sleep or unconscious state. So that's the experience of it. And why is it related to the other experience? But before that, NDE is supposed to be something, state of mind being close to the heaven or some such thing. So in my case, just a peace. So maybe it's not qualified as the NDE. But in my view, I felt like dying, right? So I accept it. And maybe there was some of an image or something happened, but all I remember was just going back and checking if glasses still there, glasses are there, and kind of faint. And then, I walked down. There are some other things that happened. But probably the sense was that, again, not too much of the left brain, but just image of this and that and feeling of secure sense. So it's like opening up mind, not to be concerned, facing death. No worries. So awakening experience is no worries at all. It's just peace, eternal peace and blissful sensation. Maybe that's why I thought that's very similar, because my awakening took 25 years ago, this one maybe 7 years ago, 5 years ago or something. So maybe I was relating to that blissful sensation and I was in that state that if I'm dying, that's okay with me. Actually, come to think about it, I was talking about the subject of it's okay to me to die, even tomorrow. That was one of the video I posted yesterday or the day before when I was talking with my friend Ken. Because he was saying the same, that we have good life and I'm okay with that. I'm feeling the same. And I said that I'm feeling the same to him. So all this example point that you are at peace. No ego, free, liberated. Whatever happens, happens. And it's, let's call it absolute state. There's no good and bad, right and wrong. Be in the state, in the moment, in the samadhi. No mind. No mind. So you don't, some of the NDE, you talk about this and I was going through this and that. In my case, just glasses picking up, walking down, and it's maybe not fit to the typical notion of the new near-death experience. But it was like a floating and peaceful. Whatever the case is. So what's the point of sharing this? It's already 16 minutes. I talked about those 5 or so examples. I wanted to make it short, but the point is, it's the peace at the core of our being when you are away from the mind. So you can be in that state. You don't have to meditate. That's what Jill Bolte said. But her case is different from my case because I have the experience, but also I can use the mind. Not like her case that she couldn't use the mind for several years until she picked up the word and learning the word again. But in my case, I could shift back and forth. So that's basically it, that we have all that capability, whether in NDE or committing suicide or meditation or whatever I said, or into the zone. I didn't say that, but it's the same thing. In the flow, you are one with the flow, no mind, no self. So that's the entry or the connection to the heart and away from the brain. You can ride the wave of universe. I like that expression. Surfing, when you're doing good, you don't think. If you start to think, it's too late. You fall. Fishing, when I'm doing quite well, then it just happens. Masters make things happen just by intuition, not much of the left brain, because you have all the accumulated preparedness of what to do. So that's why I say the awakening is connected to the wisdom and compassion, and it's a good state of being. Hopefully you pick something out of it. Maybe it's a little random talk of different cases, but those things indicate the state of the core state of our being before you ate the fruit of knowledge and played with the left brain, but rather back in the Garden of Eden. No mind, no self. Samadhi, blissful sensation. If you have that image, it may help you. You can use the brain so it doesn't help, but it may remember it somewhere and then have the opportunity to click onto it. Then you may discover whatever the situation you may get at the time to experience it. And once you experience it, you can just strengthen it because you are opening up the channel. But if you're too confined all the time, it gets difficult. It's a thick layers to break through. So it requires a more of a painful moment to go break through. That much I just wanted to share. And how is not the how in your mind. How of the universe has to take place. But you can be totally prepared for it. That's why the faith, the religion, and all that is meaningful to induce such a moment, but not the dogma and the rituals of what goes through, because it's just a ritual. What's the substance of it? And those difficult and breakthrough experience and prior to that, and what caused that. And maybe just one more thing is that kids are like that. They have a pain, but they just go over because they have a strong sense of the liveliness inside. And this left brain doesn't have so much solidified into the hardcore, wired up too intellectually stuck to it with ego, well, it may be more difficult for certain people, it may be easier for some people, but anyway, this is just a talk to point out what I think is interesting of knowing our human behavior and who we are, what can be done. Thank you for listening, and give me a comment if you like.